I want to start with an update on our response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the past 7 months, I've been making the tough decisions that took us from a state with the third highest number of COVID cases per million back in March and April to now we are the 33rd highest in September. We've made incredible strides in this state. We have one of the best economic recoveries in the nation, too. And studies have concluded that those actions saved thousands of lives. But after the Republican-led legislature sued to take away my executive authority, this past Friday, the Michigan State Supreme Court struck down the statute under which I had issued several of these executive orders so we could save lives and protect Michigan families and communities and businesses and our frontline workers. As a result of this action, of the court's action, the legislature's action, our COVID-19 cases could likely go up. There will be uncertainty, there will be disruption, and possibly greater risk to our economy, to our loved ones, possibly more people quarantined and more fatalities. We've seen that happen elsewhere. What this ruling does not mean is that the orders I issued violated the law. Although I disagree with the court's conclusion, they held the law, the 1945 law, unconstitutional, meaning that that legislature 75 years ago didn't have the authority to extend these types of powers to a governor. The court made it clear that I had interpreted this law correctly and utilized my powers. And what this ruling also does not mean is that all the protections that we put in place are gone. That's just not the case. We have additional authority that I will use to continue to protect our families from the spread of this virus. Yesterday, the Department of Health and Human Services issued an emergency order that is restricting gathering sizes and requiring face coverings in public spaces. That should sound familiar because that's what we've been doing. We're going to keep doing it because that's what the CDC and the best scientists all agree on is our best tool in this moment. So while the Supreme Court has spoken, and while I vehemently disagree with the conclusion, now is the time for the Republicans in the legislature to come back to town and start showing that they take this crisis seriously too. I'm ready to work with the legislature, but I'm never going to negotiate when it comes to doing the right thing and protecting the people's health. This is a deadly virus that still poses a very real threat. It still preys on our most vulnerable populations. And as your governor, I will continue to use every tool at my disposal to combat COVID-19. I'm here in the Capitol today, but the legislature's not. That's why I'm hoping that they will cancel their October recess and get back to work. And the first order of business that they should undertake when they return is to codify my executive order on unemployment. Because without swift action, hundreds of thousands of people in our state, hundreds of thousands of hardworking people who head up families and need to put food on the table will lose their unemployment benefits if the legislature doesn't act in the next few days. These are the men and women who've lost a job and were counting on expanded benefits to put food on the table for their kids. When it comes to fighting COVID-19, we cannot escape the reality that we are all in this together. So, my fellow Michiganders, here's what I need you to do. Keep wearing your mask. Keep your physical distance to 6 feet from people you don't live with, and wash your hands frequently. Taking this action is essential to keeping our small businesses and our schools open, because COVID-19 didn't stop being a threat just because of a court ruling, or because of we're tired of it, or because the legislature's not in town. We cannot squander the sacrifice that we've already made to get here. And that's why we all have to keep doing our part. You can take action that protects the brave men and women who stay on the front lines so the rest of us can be safe. I'm talking about the healthcare workers and the grocery store clerks. I'm talking about all of our first responders and our utility workers and sanitation workers, people who take care of our kids. So taking this virus seriously will help protect us all as we prepare to vote in November, or every day between now and November, which you can do.